Explain why Cromwell rose to power. You may use the following in your answer: the Act of Appeals in 1533, membership to the Privy Council 1530. You must also use information of your own. 12 marks. This is the mark scheme for this question, which you can find out about in more detail in the overview video. 6 of the marks for this question are for AO2, which is your analysis of causation. This question is all about explaining why, so you need to identify some features, not just the ones in the stimulus points, but ones from your own knowledge, to try and explain why you think that Cromwell rose to power. That brings us on nicely to AO1, which is worth the other 6 marks. So that is where you bring in your own knowledge and understanding of the period to support your argument. Here are the bottom 2 bands for this question. Again, our overview video explains all of this in much more detail, but have a read through to try and decide where you think your answer would fit. Generally speaking, to score highly on this question, your answer needs to analyse the question, and that means you need to have developed points which draw in relevant evidence. It should follow a logical structure, so it should be quite easy for the examiner to understand what you're arguing, and you should also be bringing in your own knowledge. These are the top 2 bands. Have a look through all of the bands and try and decide which one you think your answer might fit into. Then try and decide which mark within that band you think you would be awarded. As long as the points you make to explain your answer are relevant to the question and correct, the examiner will give you the marks, but here are some points that you could use. It's a good idea to use the point evidence explain structure to make sure that your points are fully developed. So, for example, you could give the point that Cromwell successfully secured the annulment. Your evidence then could be the Act of Appeals, which gave Henry the power to annul his own marriage. And then to explain that in terms of its relevance to the question, you could say that this led to Henry entrusting Cromwell with greater powers. Developing the point like this shows that I've stayed focused on the question, I've analysed what it's asking me to do, and I've fully developed my thinking. Have a look through the rest of the points to see if there's anything you could have added to your answer.